precursor to it. We've seen multiple warnings produced, multiple alerts across the area, specifically talking about the flooding. We've already seen some images of that where nearly 5 feet of water in some backyards out there, causing people to have to leave their homes late at night, having to evacuate because that water is still rising. I wanted to run through some of the reports that we've seen come through out in Fulton County. Lake Forest Drive Northwest has been closed between Barber Lane Northwest and West Wyuka Road due to flooding. The water has just continued to rise in that area. That is not something that is uncommon, and it is not just isolated to Fulton County. Checking out DeKalb County, we've seen flooding on the road at the intersection of Old Constitution Road and Constitution Road. Earlier this evening, if you were with us during the 11 o'clock newscast, we actually have flooding on I-85, a couple of lanes on I-85 moving into the La Vista area, moving into DeKalb County. We had parts of that shut down because of flooding on the roadways. And then there have also been reports of some flooding that has caused some vehicles to be stalled out. Earlier in the evening, if you were with us, we were bringing you the story of someone being rescued out of a vehicle in the vicinity of Six Flags. We're talking about the intersection of Fairburn Road and Benjamin E. Mays Drive, where there was a stalled vehicle in water. This is a good time to remind you folks, whenever you see water collecting on the roads, it's not a good idea, especially this late at night. Over the course of the next few hours, you're not going to be able to determine the depth of it. You want to turn around because it can cause some issues. Turn around, don't drown. It sounds silly, it sounds very childish, but it's the way to keep you and your families safe. And with that same regard in mind, some folks are still going to try to get out on the roads tomorrow. I understand, I get it. We're going to be coming to work. First responders are going to be going to work. If you have to get out, which we're recommending that you don't, slow down a little bit. It does not take a whole lot of water on the roads to cause you to hydroplane. We've already seen multiple accidents happen this evening. We had an accident on 285 that slowed down traffic tremendously, and we had an accident on I-85 as well. So whenever you have slippery road conditions, especially something like this where there's going to be a lot of ponding on the roadways, it's just not going to be a good idea to race through the water. I want to bring in our anchors because you guys have been with us. You've seen the power outages. We've been talking about this. This has been first alerted since the weekend, but we've been talking about it since last week. We knew that this potential was coming, and unfortunately, it's, we never want to talk big numbers. We never want to say 10 inches, 11 inches, a foot of rain possible, but we've already had several places that have verified 8, 9 inches, and the core where the heaviest rain isn't even here.
Yeah, and we're at 2 a.m. and we still have a long way to go. We still have hours and hours to go. There's already been some power outages, but as these winds pick up, more and more people will lose power.
Yeah, the one big concern has been the flooding we've seen play out, and those wind speeds that Fred was talking about is what will be playing out over the next few hours. We want to bring in Atlanta News First anchor Carly Burnett, who's joining us here in the studio. I know you're going through some of the data, looking at some of these power outages. So how significant is it at this hour?
Well, Blair, Tracy, since the last time we spoke, I mean, in just about the last 2 hours, things have gotten really bad out there. I just looked at the numbers. The power outages right now, 193,582. That has more than quadrupled in 2 hours. Georgia Power makes up about 122,000 of those. So as you mentioned, we have been talking about this. We have been warning about this. This is why we've been saying to have your batteries, to have everything charged up, because you can likely anticipate to have your power go out. First Alert meteorologist Patrick Pete was talking about it, particularly in the metro, also talking about our southern counties. Those are the ones that are most affected right now, but continue to stay with the Atlanta News First app for any updates on that. Tracy, Blair.
And so much of that focus is going to be on those power outages over the next few hours as people start to wake up and may be without power.
Yeah. We do have some breaking news we want to tell you about right now. A woman has been hurt after a roof collapsed at a home. This all happening on Hammond Drive in Griffin. It happened at 11 o'clock tonight. A tree fell on the home. Again, we've been warning people about this. A lot of people have been able to call out tree trimmers and tree cutters to come down and remove those trees that they know could fall down. And this, unfortunately, worst case scenario, that tree falling on that home there in Griffin. The woman now is in stable condition. Atlanta News First will continue right after this.